don't know what comes next. They never see the cost. I move when others rest. Counted what they lost.
Cold hands don't shake.
Cold eyes don't blink.
I came to take
What others think they own. Inside the fall, I walk a cleaner path, the shortest one of all.
cold hands don't shake.
Cold eyes don't blink.
I came to take
What others think they own.
don't shake.
The night belongs to me. It's done. I build my hands without a guide. I learned to stand without a name. The space he left was wider than the world. I filled it with whatever became. The father I never knew taught me everything by leaving. The lessons came in what I had to do. The answers came in what I stopped believing. I am the man he never was. I am the man I had to be. The father I never knew lives in everything that doesn't break in me. not blame the silence anymore. I do not curse the door that closed. I learned the weight of fathers from his absence. I learned the kind of man I had to be. Doesn't break in me. I am not angry anymore. I am not even sad. I just became the version of him he never had the strength to have. The father I never knew lives in everything that doesn't break in me, in everything that doesn't break in me. Everything that doesn't break in me. I learned to feed myself by 7. I learned to put myself to bed. I read the world before I read the books, and carried what no child should have read. Nobody's children grow up faster. Nobody's children learn to stand. We taught ourselves the things they should have given. We built ourselves with our own hands. I do not weep for what I missed. I do not curse the silent door. I am the proof that some seeds grow on stones where nothing grew before. I see them now with their soft beginnings. I see them now with their gentle fall. I do not envy what they were given. I am grateful I was given nothing at all. I did not have. Now I am the mother who did not stay. I became the home I was looking for. I became the answer to what was taken away.
Some seeds grow on stones where nothing grew before.
Where nothing grew before. Nothing grew before. They thought the heat would break me down, but fire is just another tongue that speaks to those who learn the sound. I came out heavier than before, with less to say and more to hold. I am built from iron. What was meant to burn me made me cold. What was meant to break me made me old. And the old know how to stand. Speak of mercy. The broken will demand a sign. I learned to need much less than they think. I learned the iron in my spine. gas paid. I am built from iron, and the old know how to stand. The old know how to stand. These hands have learned what hands learn. These hands have paid what hands have to pay. I do not envy the men in the offices. I do not need their kind of clean. Work boots by the door, old jacket on the chair. A man who knows the price of bread knows what a man should bear. The world don't see this kind of weight. The world don't know my kind of worth. But I built something that don't fall apart with these hands and this earth. I taught my son to use his hands. I taught my son to take his time. There is a kind of pride the soft don't know. There is a kind of peace in calloused palm. The price of bread knows what a man should bear. I do not need the world to thank me. I do not need a fancy name. The men who built the things you stand on carried weight without their fame. I built something that don't fall apart with these hands and this earth. These hands and this earth. weight that no one saw. She made the meals when there was nothing. She taught me that a quiet woman can carry more than men with everything. Mama's hands worked when the world was sleeping. Mama's hands held what no one else would hold. I did not understand it as a boy. I see it now that I am old enough to know. Mama's hands built the man I am. Mama's hands are why I stand at all. She did not ask for any praise. She did not need a public name. She gave me everything she had to give and asked nothing back the same. Stand at all. I will not waste what she has given. I will honor her in every choice. Every quiet act of being decent is me speaking with her voice. Mama's hands are why I stand at all. Why I stand at all. Stand at all. We were 13, running through the same dark. We were 17, with nothing left to lose. He took the road that did not let him come back. I took the road that I did not get to choose. I carry my brother's name in the way I walk and stand. I carry my brother's name in the silence of my hand. could not finish what we started, but I will not let it die alone. I am the road that he became. I am the long way home. I do not visit the place they put him. I do not need that kind of stone. He lives in every choice I make right. He lives in everything I have grown. I do not weep for what was taken. I just live the life he could not live. Every quiet victory is for him. Every breath is what I give. The truth they don't tell young men is that brave is not the absence of fear. Brave is the man who is shaking and still walks toward the door he can't go near. I was afraid every time I had to act. I was afraid, and I never let it stop me. The world thinks courage is the silence of a man who has nothing to lose. But courage is the silence of a man who feels everything and still chooses. I will not pretend I never trembled. I will not perform the cold pretender. The men who never feared a thing are men who never had to be defenders. silence of a man who feels everything and still chooses. I do not envy men without their shadows. I pity what they never had to face. I learned my courage in the trembling. I learned my strength in every shaking place. Silence of a man who feels everything and still chooses. And still chooses. I do not hate the ones who left me. I do not curse the names that turned. I learned to read a person's leaving long before their bridge was burned. The ones who left were never really there. The ones who stayed did not need a vow. I do not chase what walks away. I do not beg what time will not allow. The ones who left just told me who they were, and I believe them now. The world is full of soft pretenders. The world is short on those who hold. I do not waste my hours on the going. I keep my circle quiet and cold. 2 or 3 who stayed beside me are worth more than every promise made.
The ones who left
just told me who they were. And I believe them now. Tuesday in October. I was busy doing something I forgot. I told myself that I would call him back, and I never did until I learned I could not. The phone I didn't answer is the lesson I cannot rewrite. The phone I didn't answer is the night that taught me right. I learned that time is not a guarantee. I learned that love does not wait politely. The phone I didn't answer is why I answer every call now, even when I am tired. I do not pretend I made it right. I do not pretend the lesson came in clean. The man who learned that absence costs the highest is the man who answers what others would not have seen. Is why I answer every call now, even when I am tired. was not there when he learned to ride. I was not there when he learned to fall. I have to live with what my absence built. I have to live with what I missed of all. The sun I let down did not need my excuses. The sun I let down just needed me there. I do not ask him to forgive me now. I just show up and do the work and care. The son I let down is the man who taught me what a father really has to bear. I do not blame the years that took me. I do not blame the work that called. I am the man who chose his timing and paid the price when his son grew tall. Son I let down just needed me there. What a father really has to bear. I cannot give him back the missing hours. I cannot rewrite what I did not say. But I can show up for the rest of his life. And every quiet day is a debt I get to pay. What a father really has to bear. She did not see the man I was supposed to be. She saw the man that I became at night. When all the noise of pretending falls away, and there is only what is left in honest light. The woman who stayed when she had every reason to leave the only proof I needed that a man like me could still be saved. I do not deserve what she gave me. I do not pretend that I do. But she stayed, and that taught me everything about the man I owe to her too. I was not easy to live beside. I had walls she had no right to climb, but she chose to stay through every winter. She chose to stay through every kind of crime. She stayed, and that taught me everything. I will not waste what she has given. I will not break what she has held. Every quiet day I get to walk beside her is a debt I am proud to be repaid. She stayed, and that taught me everything. Oh, she stayed, she stayed, and that taught me everything. She stayed. She stayed. I don't speak unless it matters. Most things they say don't last. I watch the way a man fractures when his story meets his past. I learn the weight of silence. I learned what eyes can hide. I keep my own alliance. I keep my hands inside. I am the quiet kind, the one you don't see coming. I keep it in my mind. attraction. There's truth in what I cut. The world rewards reaction. I rewarded sitting up. I am the quiet kind, the one you don't see coming. I keep it in my mind. I keep my own drumming. Cold doesn't mean broken. Quiet doesn't mean small. I am what was spoken when no one came to call. I built this from the ashes of who I used to be, the version that still asked questions, that still believed in we. Now I move with the answers nobody gave. The quiet kind don't dance, but the quiet kind get saved. I am the quiet kind. And that's enough. I've seen the writing on the wall. I've heard the silence before the fall. I do not run from what is coming. I learn the rhythm of the drumming. It tells you when the end is near. When it falls, let it fall on me. When it breaks, let me see it break. I have stood through colder nights. When it falls, I will still be standing. Afraid of endings. I am not afraid of cold. I have buried my pretendings. I am exactly what I hold. When it falls, let it fall on me. When it breaks, let me see it break. I have stood through colder nights. When it falls, I will still be standing. face.
When it falls, I will still be standing
In the place that does not shake. I stood at 35 with 2 rows in front of me. One was easy and led nowhere worth a name. One was hard and asked me everything I had. I chose the one that no one else would claim. 2 roads back, and I never looked again. 2 roads back, and I do not regret the easy life that I refused to live. Was not a life that I could ever forget. 2 roads back, I chose the heavy one, and every heavy day is one I do not regret yet. I see the men who took the lighter version. Their houses big, their faces empty wide. I do not envy what they call their winning. I would not trade what living on this side has done inside. Forgets the man he was meant to be. The man who chooses the harder road becomes the man he was meant to see. I chose the heavy one, and every heavy day is one I do not regret yet. I do not regret yet. I I do not regret yet. The man I knew at 20 would not recognize me. The boy I was at 16 would not know my name. I have buried versions of myself in silence, and every burial taught me how to change. I changed, and I will not apologize for it. I changed, and I will not perform the man I was. The people who loved who I used to be will have to mourn or learn the man I became. I changed, and I am not afraid of who I am now. I changed, and that's the only truth I claim. I do not miss the man who broke easily. I do not long for who I had to leave. There is a courage in continuing to kill the part of you that does not believe. That's the only truth I claim. The man who refuses to change is the man who never had to grow. The strongest thing a man can be is honest with what he had to know. I changed, and that's the only truth I claim. The only truth I claim. forgave the men who broke me first. I forgave the ones who left me cold. I held my judgment for the only person who needed it the least to stay whole. I forgave myself last, the hardest piece to find. Was sitting with the man I was and letting him be kind. I do not run from what I did. I do not pretend it was not me. But I am not the boy I judged so harsh. I am the man he was trying to be. There is a courage in forgiving what no one else can absolve. The man who learns to walk beside himself is the man whose soul evolves. Myself last and letting him be kind. I am the man he was trying to be. I am not erased by what I have been. I am not defined by what I broke. The man who forgave the boy he was is the man who finally woke. The friends I had at 20 are not friends I have at 40. The people I would die for changed 3 times. I learned that growing means losing the familiar. I learned that loyalty has its own kind of crimes. You outgrow people, and it doesn't not make you cruel. You outgrow people, and it does not break the rule. The friends who held you when you were small are not the men who hold you when you stand tall. You outgrow people, and the only honest thing is to walk on without resentment and let them keep what was. I do not curse the ones who could not follow. I do not pretend that I was always there. The man who grows beyond his given table has to find another place to share. And the only honest thing is to walk on without resentment and let them keep what was. I do not need them to come with me. I do not need them to understand. I just need to keep my walking quiet and let them have the man I used to am. And let them keep what was. And let them keep what was. Let them keep what was. Let them